Okay, in this video we are going to be looking at executing the test from Maven. Now I want to point out that when I run this like this is IntelliJ executing against the JUnit test engine. So IntelliJ is doing the actual call. It's actually bypassing Maven. There's three different ways we can run tests with Maven. And the first is directly from IntelliJ. So let's take a look at that right now. So I can come up here. This is the Maven lifecycle, and tests are going to run in the test phase, package, verify, install, cite, and deploy. They'll not run in compile, validate, or clean. That's just going to compile the code. Clean just deletes your working directory, your target source folder there. Just a quick recap on Maven functionality. Now, if I just double click on test, this executes the test, and we can see that the tests do go out and get run. And you can see that there's a bunch of chatter in there from our system output. Now, typically what you want to do is, it's a good habit to get into clean. This will delete your target folder and then recreate it. Or actually, when you run test, that is going to run the compile phase and then regenerate everything for you and then execute your test. So if you ever have something funky going on, and it's always a good idea to do a clean and then test, because you might have deleted something, got something out of whack. So incomplete builds can do very odd things. Just a word to the wise. Now, there's a couple more ways that we can use Maven to execute the test. Let's come over to the command line. And if I do pwd here, or ls if you're on Windows, ls, this is going to list out the directory contents. And there's two commands there you can see right in the middle. There's maven w. That is a bash script to run Maven. And do ls minus lta. There's a hidden directory .maven that's actually has the Maven jar in it. So that bash script is going to execute it that way. If you are running Windows, you want to be using the mavenw.command, and that should run from the command line for you. And again, these are just for two different operating systems. The Maven W bash script, that is going to be OS X, and Linux will be happy with that bash script. Or if you've installed a bash environment on your Windows machine, that should execute as well. And then the Maven w.command, that is going to be for Windows environments in general. I know OS X will not be happy trying to run that. And that script basically looks at .maven and executes Maven that way. So now, before, remember I said we want to run clean and test. So I can run two goals like that with Maven, and I can hit it like that. And we can see that the tests do run. And I scroll up a little bit. You can see I got 3 tests run, and here's all the chatter, all the system out chatter that we added in our test, so we know that they ran. And then here's all our chatter from Maven. So that's two different ways that we can run Maven. I have Maven installed on my command line. I just do Maven version. Now, the actual installation of Maven on the command line, that's beyond the scope of this. There's actually a ton of directions out there to get it set up. Now, by having it installed in my environment, I can just clear this. Now we can just do Maven clean test like that. And the difference is now I'm running Maven from my environment. When I did the Maven W running the bash script, I was running the Maven wrapper and running the version of Maven that was included with the project. So sometimes you need to be aware of this. It confuses people because the Maven wrapper is running the flavor of Maven that was included with the project. If you have Maven installed, it could be running a very old version, depending on when you updated your system last. And then finally, IntelliJ, let's see here. Come up here in settings for Maven. Here, IntelliJ is going to do a bundled, or you can actually override settings as well. So it looks like IntelliJ has a bundled version, even bundled Maven too. Or you can tell IntelliJ explicitly a Maven home to execute out of. So several different ways there. So just to recap, IntelliJ is going to have its own Maven. The project has Maven wrapper. And in my case, I've installed Maven and set that up on the command line. So several different ways to do it. Maven's a pretty powerful tool. But to remember the command, just to recap that, let's go over here. Maven clean test will execute Maven from the command line and run your tests.